did the Siege Marathon because I thought the Netflix series was supposed to come out, and then they delayed it for another month. Well, Netflix, you think you won? I got an ace up my sleeve. In the Generation 1 cartoon, there were a number of various Seekers with unique decos or traits that were generic and nameless. Mostly just background or filler characters, even the Rainmakers were just generic Seekers at the time. Fans intrigued would later result in many of these getting recognized and named, including a flamethrowing member in the first episode. Hotlink is a tinkerer, a mechanic who admires the advancements and upgrades in weaponry, even if it's from the other faction. With the Netflix series, Hotlink finally gets a toy on the shelves as a Walmart exclusive. Although, judging by some of the trailers, it seems he might be resembling some sort of Zombiecon. Special thanks to Danny Dolphin on YouTube for sending this out. These Netflix Voyager packs don't come alone. Hotlink with his fiery theme comes with Heatstroke and Heartburn, redecoed from the same figure with matching paint applications. While in the cartoon he only carried one, there was a secondary Seeker behind Hotlink in the cartoon carrying a matching flamethrower weapon. These are Battlemasters and are straight up repaints of the blowpipe model, even carrying similar flare pieces, just without the ring addition, which I guess makes sense considering these are supposed to be flames. And if you got enough of them, you can still surround Wheeljack with fire. Until we get into the robot mode, they're basically identical. Hell, I could tell you this is Heatstroke and you wouldn't be any of the wiser. Dual-wielding flamethrowers is cool, but utilizing the hole underneath, you can combine them for the super flamethrower! The smaller port can't plug flares, but you can use them on the null rays. And yes, the limbs are here, but that's nothing new. In fact, none of this is new. Can this mold catch a break? Typical peg chest, Warpath style Battlemaster mold, even using the original limbs. Thing 1 and Thing 2 are colored in two different tones of blue that teeter the point of blending into each other like a blur of Smurfs. Few paint apps with the Decepticon logo silver, and the only way to tell the twins apart, a red visor on Heatstroke and yellow on Heartburn. Wait, are we sure that this guy is actually Heatstroke and not... You know, let's avoid the Frenzy Rumble thing. But of course, we needed two of these, because we haven't gotten enough of it! The weapon can disconnect and plug to the side as their personal flamethrowers, but maybe we should discuss safety regulations because this one seemed to have melted his foot. It's still functional, and don't worry, it's not a running issue. Actually, kind of ironic if you think about it. There's a similar, I bet you wouldn't tell if I swapped the limbs. Come to think of it, did Danny swap the limbs? Did Hasbro swap the limbs? Someone answer me! Do Transformers even get Heatstroke? I mean, I get it, the theme is heat, even though I don't usually picture blue with heat. Do they even get Heartburn? Wouldn't it be Sparkburn? Typical articulation for a Battlemaster, plus you can recreate the which one lies riddle. Otherwise, these look more like clones than the actual clones. Good, harmless, bumping up the price additions, but let's get into the real reason why we're here. Hotlink in Alt Mode transforms into the Tetrajet form. Makes sense given we've only knowingly seen him on Cybertron. This is another installment into the Siege Seeker repaint saga. But Seeker repaints have always been a thing, considering they were the first army builder. I mean, look at all the repaints of the classic mold, even including the high-quality knockoffs. In this case, Hotlink's paint job seems thicker. I've noticed some issues with it, especially tabbing the arms to the wings. I've had to shave it down, otherwise I'd use a tool to pry it open. But I'll give it this, Hotlink tries his own thing. With all the previous Seekers having this matching, blotchy, gross scratch effects, Hotlink decides to have this nice faded effect. It goes from the black color or speckled black to the purple and sometimes lighter purple, giving it an almost dark neon effect that looks beautiful. Sure, some of it doesn't line up and breaks in places, unlike the halves of the nose, which blends well, but it already mixes around, so I'm not picky. There's a glow to this that... wait, looks like dark energon. Is that a theory I smell? Love that bright orange that really pops. Even on the fake chest that I still stand could be considered an energy core. Multiple rockets to plug blast effects. And with the null rays underneath, you could plug them on the front or onto the back. Too bad I can't seem to get the Battlemasters to stick. The holes seem fine, the pegs seem fine. Why isn't this working? Science explained! And while we're at it, the null rays can plug underneath the wings. Or using the portholes in the arms, you can angle them off in different ways. Oh yeah, there's a Decepticon logo. Almost missed that sinking into the purple paint. I could go on about the paint, but I can't forget the mold it's on. The design of the Tetrajet itself looks so elegant. And by that, I mean if you don't look at almost the entire robot underneath. All these panel lines, the smoothness that swooshes through the wind like a warm blade in ice cream. Satisfying. Even with the swift shape, it manages to get some texture that in no way, shape, or form feels lacking. Even if the third wing looks more like a vent, it's all good. Also gonna bring up the sliver of orange. Why is it there? I don't know, but I like it. We've seen this before, I'm sure we all have, but man, I love this Seeker design so much and appreciate the fact we now have a full-on Tetrajet design in this class. But of course, that paint job totally makes it pop. How can I say no to this? Robot mode. Complain all you want about the modern repaints, but we've been getting stuff we never expected in Generations. Even if we did back in the day, it would be a rarity or Takara exclusive. Now we're seeing so many underrated characters, some of which never even got a Hasbro release. Seeing Hotlink is another entry into the obscurity.
Don't forget to push this down when going back in alt mode. I totally didn't forget putting this in the video.
Not only can I admire him by name alone, but the purple and black continues to impress me. Not as much in the alt mode where you had large portions fade into other colors. This seems a little more all over the place, but you can still get those colors anyways with the black, sparkle black, dark purple, light purple, and touch of orange that seems to fade in the wings. There's some solid colors like the inner legs have this almost black while the back has a solid black. The heels are fully molded in purple, and the underwear is painted in a light lavender. While he retains the shape of the Seeker, with the nose forming the shoulder towers, there's a lot of different design elements that makes things either interesting or a little messy. Even the cockpit chest doesn't get away with it. Understandably, with the black and purple color and lack of a decent release, people have also acquired this to use in place of Skywarp. Hell, the black is probably better, and scalpers? Well, usually scalpers just suck, pure and simple. I mean, I've got Skywarp already. I'm not flexing. I'm not flexing. I'm not flexing. I'm not flexing. I might be flexing. I could complain all day about certain things, but this is a traditional Seeker in the right class forming a Tetrajet. Repaint it all you want, I'm on board. That reminds me, guys, don't get too worried about not finding this guy. It's too early to call it and pay scalpers. It's a Walmart exclusive out to promote a show. I'm sure they want you to have it to say, watch the show. That head is a typical Seeker, but no complaints. It is the original version, so no smirk. Face is painted over in gray, which stands out from the rest of the toy. Details on the head seem to match the overall essence of overused texture in the mold. Gotta credit the red transparent eyes that don't match any of the other transparent plastic used. Did someone say, articulation? Ball jointed head, shoulders out and in, forward to back, butterfly joint, rotation below, double elbow, wrist rotation, waist rotation, hips out and in, forward to back, rotation below, knee bend, foot forward to back, tilt, heels, and toes. Posability is pretty decent if the small feet allows you to let it stand. However, the wings can adjust to your favor. I've also noticed the same issue with my other Seekers, that the foot doesn't seem to hold a 5mm post, but with the flares leaving out the rings, I noticed they seem to fit the hole. Let's take a look at the accessories. Hotlink comes with a few HPI null ray laser launchers that port flares on the front and back as mentioned. They look more like rifles though, and can be plugged on the shoulders or in the hands if you're disgusting. He's got blast ports in various places and portholes in the feet, side of the legs, hands, 2 on each arm, wings, and 3 on the back. And yes, again, the chest is not pinned, although I do think it's intentional, and on mine, it's tight enough. Funny, this is the second time we ever got a Hotlink, and now he's probably a zombie. Poor guy. Wait, don't you kill zombies with flamethrowers? This is the ultimate weapon! Are you telling me you don't have a translucent butt flap? Yeah, Hotlink is the typical Siege Seeker, but he's the only one to give himself a brand new deco pattern. All the purple faded to black is so refreshing compared to the clumps of dirt on the other figures. This along with the Battlemasters surely brings up the price, but I think the team works well together. I'd say if you can get them, try to find it for yourself. If you love the Seeker design, this is one they don't do often that you might not want to miss. Special thanks to Danny Dolphin for the pack. Please support the channel. Now that is a spicy meatball.